Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of an Extravagant Few Minutes Live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. And of course, on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza Facebook page. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, by the way, to get all of our great content archived and live, including all of our Extravagant Few Minutes episodes, all of our Extravaganza episodes with yours truly, and of course, my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. And starting on September 16th, it's season 10 of the ACHA Power Play. We've got guests lined up. We're going to be ready to rock with that, with the Road to St. Louis 2026 getting underway, our 10th season of the ACHA Power Play, all things American Collegiate Hockey Association. So again, we also invite you to follow us on X at The Real Captain Lou, and you will get all of our shows there live as well, so you can watch us there. So we're everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Hey, a reminder that an Extravagant Few Minutes and all of our shows on the Captain Lou Sports Network is brought to you, as always, by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. If there's a game you want to go to, the Lions and the Packers this Sunday in Lambeau. How about Saturday night? A couple of big college games of interest around here. Michigan going to Oklahoma, or Boston College taking on Michigan State and East Lansing. Go to SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou. It's right there on the screen, and you get $20 off your next purchase. It's that simple. It's free money. Why not? So the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network is you're in to get tickets last minute for the games this weekend at Lambeau, in Norman, Oklahoma, or in East Lansing. That's SeatGeek, and use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off of your purchase. All right. Let's get right into it. We've got all things football. The NFL season kicks off tonight with Philadelphia, the defending Super Bowl champions, hosting the so-called America's team, that being the Dallas Cowboys, and the defending Super Bowl champions raising their banner, and then they're going to get the season underway. It's on NBC at 8:20 Eastern time, so we thought we still have time. Let's get our predictions in, our extravagant NFL predictions for 2025. We're going to break down each division. We'll give you our playoff winners, and we'll give you our Super Bowl participants and our Super Bowl 60 winner. That's coming up right here on the Extravaganza. Also, right after that, we will give you Presley's parlay for tonight's opening game, her teaser parlay. We went 3-2 last weekend. We're 4-2, so we're up a couple of pizza pies and a couple of dog biscuits already early this year, but we'll give you our teaser parlay pick, Presley and I, a little bit later on. So, all right, let's get into our predictions right now. First, the AFC. Let's bring it up. The AFC North. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. They're looking pretty tough this year. They get Detroit in week 3 to host them on Monday night. That's going to be just an incredible contest. It's going to be a tough one for the Lions. But I've got the Ravens winning that division over the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals and the Ravens are both going to get into the playoffs. I think Pittsburgh's run at over 500 is over. Aaron Rodgers, he might get hot a little bit early. He'll start up, might get a win over the Jets, but that's going to be it. They're going to peter out at the end. They're going to be 8-9 in Cleveland. Who knows who's going to be quarterback by then? It could be Shador. It could be Dylan Gabriel. Heck, who knows? I don't know. Right now it's Joe Flacco, but they're not going to go anywhere fast. I got them at 4-13. I think they're going to be looking for a new head coach coming in 2026, and who knows, maybe even a brand new quarterback. In the AFC East, I've got the Buffalo Bills. I think this is their year to get to the big dance. They're going to be 14-3 with I just think everything in the AFC is going to go through Buffalo. They're going to be 14-3. Look for New England. They're my surprise team. They're going to knock on the door to get into the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to quite make it, but they're going to be at 9-8. I think Mike Vrabel is going to have that team with a winning edge. Maybe a year too soon to get into the playoffs, but I like New England at 9-8. Miami, I don't know what's going on down there. I don't know if Tua is going to stay healthy. And when you got Tyreek Hill, you don't know if he's going to show up. Their defense isn't what it used to be. I'm going with 7-10. And Aaron Glenn, he's got such a hill to climb right now in New York. They don't know whether they're coming or going. He's going to bring some toughness to him, but he doesn't have the talent at the quarterback position. I'm sorry, Justin Fields. I just don't see it. I think the Jets are going to be one of the worst teams in all of the AFC, so I'm going to put them at 3-14. In the AFC South, this might be one of the weakest divisions in all of pro football. Houston is going to win this one, I think, by default. I think they're going to go 10-7. Tennessee could be another one that'll surprise you. Watch out for Cam Ward. I think he's got the inside track for the Offensive Rookie Player of the Year. And I think they're going to surprise some people there in Tennessee. I like their defense. They're going to be 9-8. They're going to be close to a playoff berth. I don't think they're going to get in, but it's going to be an improvement. Jacksonville, I just don't know. They're such an enigma. They could potentially win 10 or 11 games. This division's up for grabs. This one was a tough one to pick. And so, but I'm going to go with Jacksonville. They're going to improve, but they're only going to be at 8-9. They're still away from being any kind of a contender under Trevor Lawrence. And finally, Indianapolis, I don't know what the hell's going on there either with Richardson. I don't know if Danny Dimes is the answer, but I think their answer is fourth place. I like Indianapolis going 6-11. And finally, in the AFC West, this one, Kansas City's going to hang on to win this division. I arm wrestled with this. I talked with the guys at Crew Time Sports. They were Crew Talk Sports. They were on the podcast earlier in the year, and they had me convinced Denver's going to the playoffs, and I think they're gonna. But I just don't know if Bo Nix has got enough to get them over Kansas City. It's one of those things. It's like Ric Flair says, to be the man, you got to beat the man. So until they get knocked off in the division, I've got Kansas City winning this one ever so slightly. This is going to be a very competitive division, as you can see. I've got Denver beating the Chargers in a tiebreaker, and I've got Vegas holding up the rear. I just don't see Vegas really with all that much. I think they're at 5-12. So there you go with the AFC. All right, let's go to the NFC. How about the NFC West? I've got the LA Rams at 10-7, San Francisco at 10-7. I think the Rams are going to win the tiebreaker in this one. This is going to be a very competitive division, and I see the Seattle Seahawks with their defense getting them to maybe 9 wins. Not sold on Sam Darnold without all the weapons. We'll have to wait and see on that. Matt Stafford, can he stay healthy? Is he going to be able to play throughout the year? And is Jimmy Garoppolo, is he going to be the worthy backup that everybody hopes? Because with that back issue with Matt Stafford, I just don't see the Rams really scaring anybody. I mean, they're going to win 10 games. I think they're going to get into the playoffs, whether they win the division or not. San Francisco, everybody's so high on Brock Purdy and but they're that team is a bunch of China dolls. They're one bad play away from getting hurt. Everybody is, it seems like, on that team, but they've got the easiest schedule, I believe, in the NFL right now, and they're going to take advantage of that and get the 10 wins. But I think they're going to lose out on the tie break. And I got Arizona. I just don't know about them. I mean, they're still a player or two away from really being taken seriously. I've got Arizona at 7-10. In the NFC South, this might go along with the AFC South as one of the weakest divisions in pro football, but I've got Atlanta taking the step to unseat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that division. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to take a step up, and he's going to help assert Atlanta as the top team in the AFC South at 10-7. I got Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield just taking a step back this year and falling to 9-8. Carolina and New Orleans, you see it. I've got New Orleans. Hey, if you're betting futures, get it in tonight. Take the under on New Orleans for wins. I think they're only going to maybe get a couple of wins there, and they're going to be in the sweepstakes for the top quarterback next year. In the NFC East, I've got Philadelphia. They're the top team in the NFC right now. They're at 13-4. I just can't see the Washington Commanders unseating them. Washington's going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be as good as Philadelphia. I think Washington's right there at 10-7, but I like the Eagles. I like their mindset. I like everything about them. Jalen Hurts is a winner. They've got a solid offensive line. If there's any question marks, it might be on the defensive side of the ball, but I just think Philadelphia right there at 13-4. They're going to get in, obviously, as the top seed in the NFC. Washington will get in the playoffs at 10-7, but I think it's their division. And then Dallas and the Giants, they're going to fight over third and fourth. That could flip-flop right there. Dallas, to me, Dak Prescott's a good talent, but I just think their defense is bad, and I don't see how they're going to keep anybody. They're going to have to score 35 to 40 points to win. They're going to win their share, maybe 6 wins, maybe 7. That's where I've got them as a ceiling at 7-10. And finally, in the NFC North, I've got Detroit beating Green Bay in a tiebreak to win the division. Now, this could go either way. Detroit's got such a brutal schedule. Road games against Kansas City, the Rams, Philadelphia, Washington, Baltimore. We mentioned that. Besides, the division, that is a brutal schedule for the Lions. But I think they're talented enough to hold their own and get to 11 wins and beat Green Bay in the tiebreak. I think they're gonna win Sunday night in Lambeau. So I think that'll be the early edge there, because I don't know if Micah Parsons is really going to be if he's playing. I don't know how effective he's going to be, although he's not really good against the run. I think Detroit can exploit that, but I think Detroit's going to win enough in their division and take advantage of their home schedule. They're going to win 11 games. They're going to edge out Green Bay. I think both teams are going to be in the playoffs, where Minnesota's at 9-8, and Chicago, they got to show me. I know Ben Johnson's the wonderkin and everything, but Caleb Williams has got to show me he can win. Show me he's not going to go to pieces under pressure. So I know they've got a few weapons there. Minnesota's the team. That one, Minnesota could very easily win 11 games, but I don't know about J.J. McCarthy, and I think they're in a tough division. I think the NFC North is one of the tougher divisions in all of football still. That's why I've got Detroit and Green Bay at 11-6, with Detroit winning that division with that record and getting the number 2 seed. All right. In the playoffs, first in the AFC playoffs, I've got the opening round. It's crazy. Baltimore will be the number 2 seed. They're going to host the Chargers. They're going to win. I've got Denver upsetting Kansas City in the opening round of the wild card round of the playoffs. And I've got Cincinnati going to Houston. I think Cincinnati's going to win a playoff game. Houston's run is over in the playoffs in the opening round. They're going to win. They're winning their division, but the Bengals are also going to upset the division winner. The Bengals got the better record. That's why I think they're going to go to Houston, and I think they're going to win in the opening round. In the divisional round, I've got Buffalo taking care of Denver in the second round of the playoffs. Denver's run it's a nice little run. They'll gain a little experience. Bo Nix will, but it's going to be Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills winning this one. And I've got Baltimore in a divisional rematch, beating the Cincinnati Bengals in Baltimore to set up this AFC championship game, Buffalo over Baltimore. And in the NFC playoffs, I've got Detroit hosting San Francisco. Detroit, the 2 seed. San Francisco will be the 7 seed. I've got Detroit beating San Francisco the opening weekend. I've got the Rams over Washington in their matchup. And I've got Green Bay going down to Atlanta and winning against the Falcons in the Georgia Dome. And then in the second round of the playoffs, another playoff rematch with the Lions and the Rams. I've got Detroit doing it again at home over the Rams. And I got Philadelphia beating Green Bay at home in another playoff rematch. And then, yes, you can call it a homer pick if you want. I don't care. I've got the Lions going into Philadelphia. Last year, the Lions had the number 1 seed. Maybe they got a little bit of comfort. They got a little too comfortable at home, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But they're going to be hungry again. Dan Campbell's going to have them ready. I've got Detroit over Philadelphia on the road to go to the Super Bowl. All right, so that means, what is my Super Bowl prediction for Super Bowl 60? That's right. I got the Ralph Wilson Bowl right there. I've got Detroit beating the Buffalo Bills 34-28 in overtime. There you go. My extravagant picks for Super Bowl 60 and for the 2025 NFL season. It's going to be the Detroit Lions over the Buffalo Bills in overtime, 34-28. All right, before we get into Presley's parlay picks for tonight, I want to just remind everybody that, again, all of our extravagant few minutes episodes and everything on the Captain Lou Sports Network is brought to you by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. There's a game you want to go to this weekend, a show, you name it. Go to SeatGeek, use the promo code Captain Lou. It's right on the screen. It's that simple. It's free money, $20 off your purchase. Make sure you go to SeatGeek if you want to go to the Lions-Packer game this weekend, Minnesota-Chicago on Monday night. All of the games, Buffalo, Baltimore, whatever. Michigan and Oklahoma, Michigan State, and Boston College. Go to SeatGeek. Get your last-minute tickets there. Use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off of your purchase. It is that simple. All right, now, we mentioned it without any further ado. Let's give you Presley's teaser parlay pick for the opening game tonight. Buddy, it's NFL time. Opening night, Philadelphia and Dallas. All right, Let's try it again, shall we? Without any further ado, let's get to Presley's pick for tonight. It's the opening night with Presley's teaser parlay. Take Philadelphia, she says. Go down 6 points to -2.5 and go under. When you add the 6, it's 54.5. That's simple. That's worth a couple of pizza pies and a dog biscuit or two. So again, Presley was 3-2 last week. We're 4-2 overall on our teaser parlay picks. Presley says, take Philadelphia, buy it down to -2.5 and buy up the under to under 54.5. And she said, dog biscuits, treats, pizza pies, whatever you want. So there you go. Presley's opening night NFL pick. All right, there you go. Presley says, take the Eagles, mark it down or buy it down to -2.5, and then buy up the over to under 54.5. That's -130, by the way. I know it's not even money, but it's pretty good money. It's pretty good odds. I'm going to take the jump on that one. Put a couple of pizza pies or a pizza pie and a dog biscuit on that one. As we mentioned, 3-2 last week, 4-2 for the year right now. So we're up a couple of pizza pies and a couple of dog biscuits as well. So, all right, there you go. Before we go, let's take a quick look at the baseball standings and whatnot. First, the Tigers, they won yesterday over the New York Mets to salvage one of the 3 games, and also got some help as the Angels beat Kansas City again yesterday. So the Tigers now, they've got their magic number is 12. They've got a 10-game lead over Kansas City, and they are now set up for their next opponent, a weekend set with the White Sox in town starting tomorrow, so they get the day off. The big worry in Detroit, the reliever they got in the trade deadline from the Washington Nationals, Kyle Finnegan, he had a little groin tightness yesterday warming up out of the bullpen. We'll see his status for this weekend. Hopefully the Tigers can get at least 2 out of 3 at home to knock that magic number down a little bit. So they've got a 10-game lead over Kansas City. All right, real quick. Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays now with a 3.5-game lead over the Yankees and the Red Sox. Both the Red Sox and the Yankees lost yesterday. The Blue Jays with a half-game lead over the Tigers for the number 1 spot in the American League. We mentioned the Tigers with a 10-game lead over Kansas City, 10.5 over the Guardians. The Astros now with a 6-game lead over the Mariners, or 4-game lead rather over the Mariners, and 5.5 over the Rangers, as Houston trying to keep a stranglehold in the American League West. In the National League East, the Phillies and the Mets both lost yesterday, so the Phillies still with a 5.5-game lead over the Mets. They've got a 4-game set with each other next week, so that's going to be very interesting. The Brew Crew with the win and the Cubs loss. The Brewers are now back 6 games up on the Cubs in the National League Central. And finally in the West, the Dodgers, they lost again yesterday, and the Padres have lost 4 straight. So the Dodgers have a 2.5-game lead over the Padres. And real quick, in the wild card standings right now, Seattle's lead over the Texas Rangers is down to 1.5 games for the final wild card spot. The Yankees and the Red Sox, of course, are locked in at the wild card position right now. And the Kansas City Royals and the Tampa Bay Rays are only 2.5 back. And the Guardians are 3 back. The Tampa Bay Rays, you can never count out the Tampa Bay Rays when it comes to the American League playoffs. And in the National League, the Mets with a 4-game lead over the Giants, 5 over the Reds, and 5.5 over the Arizona Diamondbacks and the St. Louis Cardinals. You can never count the Cardinals out of a playoff chase until they're mathematically eliminated. All right, that's going to do it. Enjoy opening night of the NFL season 2025. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys tonight at 8:20 Eastern time. It's on NBC. And again, Presley's parlay for tonight. Take the Eagles, buy it down to -2.5, and buy up and go under 54.5. It's -130. And it's been flip-flopping back and forth, that line between -8.5 and -7.5. So I don't know if you want to wait to see if it falls down further. But the 6-point teaser, again, -2.5 and under 54.5 for the parlay. So, all right, that's going to do it. Enjoy the game tonight. I want to thank everybody for welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, on your laptops, however you watched us around the world on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Captain Lou saying, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. Join us tomorrow. We'll have another special parlay bet for the Friday night game in Brazil and maybe tie in a college game as well. All right, thanks again for joining us. So long.